Hey, what's up guys? Will here for GSM Arena. If you're looking to get this year's iPhone without breaking the bank, the new iPhone 16e could be up your alley. But are you really getting a better deal than the regular iPhone 16? Which iPhone gives you more bang for your buck? Let's put the iPhone 16e and iPhone 16 head to head and find out. The iPhone 16e is a new model devised by Apple to be a less expensive alternative to the iPhone 16. Rather than focusing on a tiny form factor like on the old iPhone SE series, the 16e is the same size phone, just with some downgrades here and there. For example, the iPhone 16e has just a single camera on the back. Other than that, the iPhone 16e and iPhone 16 are the same size and weight, and look similar. That's aside from the color options, which are rather limited on the 16e. Also, on the front, the iPhone 16e has a notch instead of a pill-shaped punch hole, as it borrows the screen from the iPhone 14. Still, you get the same IP68 rated ingress protection on both of them, rated for submersion to a depth of 6 meters. On both the iPhone 16e and the iPhone 16, there is a hardware button called the Action Key, which you can use to launch shortcuts. But only on the iPhone 16 will you get the brand new camera control key. You can use it to start the camera, to access and change settings on the fly, and of course to shoot photos and take videos, all without having to touch the display. Another slightly more niche feature which you wouldn't find on the iPhone 16e is video out from its USB-C port. The display of the iPhone 16e is a 6.1-inch OLED with ceramic shield glass protection, a 60Hz refresh rate, and a notch for the Face ID hardware. It's similar to what we've seen before from Apple, probably because they've lifted it directly from the iPhone 14. The iPhone 16's screen is a similar 6.1-inch OLED with a 60Hz refresh rate, but it has the more modern-looking pill-shaped cutout and the more durable ceramic shield 2 glass. And around this pill-shaped cutout, only the iPhone 16 offers the dynamic island functionality, which shows some cleverly designed relevant info and shortcuts in that area. The display of the iPhone 16e performs fine compared to the iPhone 16. They're equally sharp, and there's support for HDR10+ and Dolby Vision video standards. However, when it comes to brightness, the iPhone 16e maxes out at only about 800 nits. It doesn't boost higher when you're out in the sun, so this phone will be less comfy to use outdoors. In contrast, the iPhone 16's panel can reach around 850 nits maximum with the manual slider, and this can boost to over 1700 nits in auto mode. On both phones, there's a pair of stereo speakers for your audio, and teardowns have revealed that the ones on the iPhone 16e are a bit smaller, just like the ones in the iPhone 14. Still, both setups sound very good in real life, with deep and balanced audio. Here, have a listen. Either phone can come with 128, 256, or 512 gigs of storage on board. Of course, that's not expandable through microSD. The software interface is the same on either phone. It's Apple's latest version of iOS 18. iOS 18 brings a bunch of AI-based features, which are present on the less expensive model as well. This means full integration of a ChatGPT-powered assistant. You can check out these features more in depth in our dedicated video. The chipset of the iPhone 16e is the same as the iPhone 16, almost. On paper, it's the Apple A18, but the chipset inside of this phone has one less GPU core. The iPhone 16, on the other hand, also has an Apple A18 chipset, but it's the full-fat version. This means that while the iPhone 16e packs just as much punch as the iPhone 16 when it comes to CPU performance and AI capabilities, it doesn't have as much power when it comes to graphics. In those tests, it falls behind. In spite of all that though, the iPhone 16e still handles itself pretty well when it comes to gaming. And for thermal management, both phones do a respectable job too. The iPhone 16e has a larger battery than the iPhone 16, 4005 mAh versus 3561. But despite that, the iPhone 16e's battery life isn't even close to the iPhone 16's, who beat the less expensive iPhone by a landslide in our standardized battery life tests. Neither phone comes with a charger, but with a proper adapter, the charging was neck and neck for a half-hour charge, and for a full charge, the iPhone 16 was just a few minutes faster. Both phones support wireless charging, but the iPhone 16's is more advanced, is faster, and has support for MagSafe chargers. Finally, let's get into the camera quality. The iPhone 16e has just one 48-megapixel camera on the back. The iPhone 16 also has a 48-megapixel main cam, but it's got a larger sensor and more advanced autofocus, and you also get an ultra-wide camera. Let's start off with the daylight shots from the main camera, shot in the default 24-megapixel resolution. In these conditions, there's not much difference to be found between the output of these two phones. But since the iPhone 16 has a larger sensor, its 2x zoomed photos are ever so slightly cleaner compared to the iPhone 16e. You also get better grass rendition. The larger sensor plays an even bigger role in low light, where photos taken with the iPhone 16 have more detail and lower noise levels. We see the same trend when digitally zooming at night too. Of course, the iPhone 16e doesn't have an ultra-wide camera, a clear advantage for the iPhone 16. Selfies come from the same 12-megapixel front-facing camera with autofocus on either phone, and they're identical in quality. And here's a look at 4K selfie videos taken with both phones. The iPhone 16e and iPhone 16 can record 4K video in up to 60 FPS with all of the cameras. In daylight, the video quality from the main cameras is excellent and quite identical. Even with 2x digital zoom, it would be hard to tell these two phones apart. Again, the iPhone 16 is the one that can do ultra-wide shooting. And in low light, the larger main camera sensor on the iPhone 16 once again yields more detailed and less noisy results. So there you have it, guys, this year's budget iPhone model versus the not-so-budget one. With both the iPhone 16e and the iPhone 16, you get the signature iPhone design, good speakers, a powerful chipset, and the same software experience. The main and selfie cameras have the same quality during the day at 1x zoom. And yes, both phones have a 60Hz display. The iPhone 16e doesn't bring specific advantages over the iPhone 16, just that it offers the iPhone look, feel, and software experience for less money. The iPhone 16, on the other hand, has plenty to show for the $200 extra. It comes in more colors, and its display has a higher grade screen glass and gets brighter. It has the more modern looking dynamic island too. The chipset has better graphics processing. The battery life is much better. Wireless charging gets MagSafe support. There's a more versatile camera setup with an ultra-wide cam, and there's a dedicated key for controlling the cameras too. Overall, the iPhone 16e is a decent alternative to the iPhone 16 for someone who might not appreciate those features, like a kid or a grandparent. But for anyone else, we think the price premium to get the iPhone 16 is well worth it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.